Hey all, this is 012Boku coming at you again with another TV review. And if you guys are aware of what that is, sorry, allergies have been killer today. I woke up with even a sinus headache. But it's the continuation of, yes indeedy, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Part 1. Continuing on with the episode, we are currently on episode 6, The Road of Hope, and it's a fairly good again, sorry, now I can tell it's oh, you know what, sorry, I was thinking, if I took my zinc today. I don't think I did take my zinc today because I was getting ready, but oh, I will take that tomorrow because I wasn't working today. Also, I guess I'll give a short little delay here for why I hadn't gotten a video up in a while. I've been busy with work. It's been busy. Haven't had the time to post this. Been doing a lot of closing shifts, so not as fun as I'd like it to be. And I thought I was doing something with a friend today, but plans changed, so I decided, well, it's a little late to do the next movie review, which I'm going to also review some movies that I've seen in the theaters lately and with friends that haven't been ones that I own, because I have a couple of friends asking to see some of the recent stuff that I've watched with them, and I'm going to do that at some point. But with this, I felt like, hey, I'm not in the mood for a regular movie review, so I figured I would do my next episode review for now. So Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 6, The Road of Hope. It deals pretty fast with 2 episodes that were actually separate in the original series, as well as the separate chapters in the manga. This show combined them into one. Road of Hope is where, while the Elric brothers are on the train, they're getting seen off by Maze Hughes, voiced by Keiji Fujiwara, Sonny Strait, and Edward Elric, who's voiced by Romy Paku and Vic Mignogna, is saying, hey, I know we have to get going, but why is he here? And Edward Elric points to Alex Louis Armstrong, Major Armstrong, who's voiced by, Kenji Utsumi and Christopher R. Sabat. And, Hughes goes, basically, well, you need protection. We don't know if Scar will attack you again. So, we need to keep all precautions in line. To which Edward agrees, and, like, Alex Louis Armstrong is laying it on thick, saying, oh, you're such a child. Edward doesn't like being treated that way. Alex Louis Armstrong even threw Alphonse Elric in with the sheep, because he's like, oh, I thought he'd be lonely, so I figured some furry little creatures would do him good since he's not with his brother. You threw him with the sheep? It's one of those little funny bit things that I absolutely love so much. And, they get on the way, and they're riding through the train. We have just a quick montage of them looking at the countryside, Edward sleeping, Major Armstrong reading a book of his. And they stop at this little town outside that was the town that was affected by the Ishvalan Civil War. And Major Armstrong looks out the window. He sees this sort of middle-aged man going by, and he's like, is that Dr. Marcoh? Dr. Marcoh, is it you? It's Alex Louis Armstrong from Central. And, Marcoh sees Alex Louis Armstrong, and he runs off. All of a sudden, Edward asks Major Armstrong who that is. Major Armstrong says that's a doctor who did alchemy, who studied, in the medical field and did things for alchemy like that. And then Edward wants to get off to meet Dr. Marcoh because he may know something about them and their current predicament to find the Philosopher's Stone. So they go throughout the town, see the townspeople, and the townspeople say, well, we don't know anyone like Marcoh, but we know a Dr. Morrow. He helps the sick. There's this flash of light, and boom, people are healed. Bones are fixed. Nobody's sick anymore. So they're thinking, it's got to be the power of the Philosopher's Stone that Edward Elric is looking for. They get outside Dr. Morrow's place, And as soon as Edward knocks on the door, Dr. Morrow, who is Dr. Tim Marcoh, opens the door and he tries to take a shot at Edward, which basically, like, I think is a little off. I think it's sort of went like this. I mean, so it was sort of close to him, but sort of like did the whole, thing through the hair as they do in movies and anime a lot. That cool little effect, even though this one was more of a funny gag to do it like that. But Dr. Tim Marcoh, voiced by Masayuki Onori and Jerry Russell, basically says, you've come to take me back. I won't go back. Alex Louis Armstrong's trying to reason with him. And then Dr. Tim Marcoh goes, oh, so that's it. You're here to silence me then. And Major Armstrong keeps trying to say him no. Dr. Marcoh isn't listening. So he tosses Al in the crate at Dr. Marcoh to get him to calm down. And they're talking with Dr. Marcoh and like their thing of the Philosopher's Stone. Like Dr. Marcoh sighs and he knows he's sort of cornered. He takes out this like little vial and it's got this pinkish red liquid in it. He dumps it on the table and then all of a sudden this thing is a sort of a shape of a stone, like a round oval thing, and it leaves both Alphonse Elric, Edward Elric, and Alex Louis Armstrong shocked that it could do this, and they're wondering about it. Like, and Dr. Tim Marcoh goes into his story about how he couldn't do this anymore. He couldn't make these things, so he had to atone by trying to come here and using this stone to help people. But this stone is incomplete. Who knows how much more power and time it's going to have? So I'm using it on a last minute basis here for these people. And then Edward Elric demands that Tim Marcoh tell him, can you give me your research? I need to see your notes. I want to do this. And then all of a sudden, Tim Marcoh, like, well, I'm not going to do that. You don't know what hell I went through to make this thing. I'm not going to put you through that hell as well. And, like, Tim Marcoh asks Alex Louis Armstrong, who is this kid? And Major Armstrong goes, well, Dr. Marcoh, he's a state alchemist. Dr. Marcoh is absolutely shocked about this, can't believe it. And that is almost like the basis for him to refuse Edward and Alphonse one more time, saying that, no, you guys will go through complete hell through this. And, Edward Elric just stands up and says, I've already been through hell. And, Tim Marcoh actually, like, looks like, whoa, and, like, realizes, okay, this is, like, something like that. And then, he learns that, Edward and Alphonse Elric basically did a human transmutation in the ultimate taboo. And even knowing this, Edward sells his desperation to Dr. Marcoh, but Dr. Marcoh still refuses him. And he's like, no, I still can't give you what you're searching for. Please leave. So both Alphonse Elric, Edward Elric, and Alex Louis Armstrong leave Tim Marcoh's disappointed. Dr. Marcoh's thinking about something after they leave, and they're at the train station getting ready to go. Dr. Marcoh comes running back and says, here's where I've hidden my research. And he gives them a note saying, the first library branch central, so they know it's in central at the first library. And then, Dr. Marcoh leaves them with a cryptic message saying, when you find my research, maybe you'll see the truth within the truth. And, you'll get your answers on whether or not you want to do this. And then, Dr. Marcoh leaves and he gives a little thing at the end saying, I look forward to the day where you two can restore your bodies. He gets back to his house where Lust, played by Kikuko Inoue and Laura Bailey, is still there. And or not still there, but she's actually there waiting for Dr. Marcoh. And she's like, Dr. Marcoh, we've been looking for you. And Dr. Marcoh gasps, turns around, and there's, Laura Bailey just give it a chuckle. Little nice role for Laura Bailey and Kikuko Inoue there. And I forgot Alphonse Elric, who's already had some speaking lines, voiced by Rie Kugamiya and Maxie Whitehead again. Sorry if I didn't mention that. But they actually, after that, go all the way to Resembol. They get home. Alex Louis Armstrong, Edward, and Alphonse Elric are coming up to their place. You have Panako Rockbell, voiced by Miyoko Asuo, I think, and Julie Erickson. She comes up and basically starts talking trash to Edward and, saying, you're shorter. Edward's like, aren't you supposed to say taller? She's like, no, pipsqueak like you never. And, they start arguing with each other. They introduce Alex Louis Armstrong. All of a sudden, Winry Rockbell comes out, throws a wrench at Edward's head, and he, falls down. Like, you're not supposed to throw wrenches at people. And she's like, well, maybe if you come home more and send letters, I wouldn't do that. And Winry Rockbell is voiced by Megumi Takamoto and Caitlin Glass. So, you go through the whole thing with the two, and, Winry is upset that the automail is destroyed. She's upset that Alphonse is rough shit. And she chastises both Edward and Alphonse Elric to the point where Alex Louis Armstrong is like, what the hell's going on here? And, you get the idea that she needs to fix it, and Panako and Winry Rockbell stay up long nighters to fix their legs. There's a part where they're there for, they're there for duration of 3 days. You see Edward with, I always forget the dog's name, like Bose or Luz, one of the two, is walking with Edward. All I know is that the Rockbell dog is walking with them, and Edward's got this thing of flowers. Alex Louis Armstrong, as he's sexually cutting wood in his, stripped attire, where we see his masculine chest, which is always funny and awesome to see. He goes to Panako and says, where's Edward? And Panako's like, oh, Edward's visiting their mother. And we see a montage that Edward is visiting old friends, and they're talking to him, making fun of him for being short, saying, hey, it's nice to see you. It's been a long time. He drops the flowers off at his parents' place. And then you actually have this real good heart-to-heart with Panako and Major Armstrong, where Major Armstrong's like, well, why don't these boys just go to their house? Why does everybody stay here? And she's like, well, because so they couldn't turn around again and they needed to keep going forward. They burned down their house with all the old memories and homes. So, they wouldn't have a home to come back to. It's all in or nothing. That they couldn't have any regrets. And then Major Armstrong says, what about, well, you're here. What about Winry Rockbell's parents? And Winry's parents were nurses who went to go help people in the Ishvalan Civil War. They died there in the war trying to help people. And you hear in Panako's voice, there's a lot of regret. You hear the regret in Alex Louis Armstrong's voice, and, saying that it was a long and terrible war. Panako agreed. And when Edward came home, you have Major Armstrong in this huge embrace, saying, you Elric brothers have been through so much. Oh, the story. Oh, the tragedy of it. I must give you hugs. Come, Edward. Let me hug you one more time. An embrace of manliness. And, scripts again. Edward complains. All the nice little good jazz. It continues on to where Winry and Panako Rockbell finish the auto mail for Edward Elric. They put it on Edward, and, he has a part where he goes through all the pain and where the nerves connect, because it's not an easy thing for him to endure it when his auto mail is getting fixed. Oh, they also readjusted his leg because his leg did get bigger, so they had to refix the auto mail leg too to fit his current size. And, when it's finished, you have Edward running off to fix Alphonse. And at the end of that, Alphonse and Edward have a little spar. Didn't realize. Guess I have to deal with that. I guess I noticed that the earphones are pushing up part of my hair. But yeah. But then, they have their spar, and they're getting ready to want to go to Central because they want to find a way to get their bodies back. Panako jokes, well, that happens. We're going to lose one of our best customers. And, sorry, guys. And, laughing about it the entire way. There's a part where near the end of the episode, Edward is sleeping, passed out from just like probably going through the whole ordeal. Winry and Pinocchio Rockbell are watching over him. Alphonse Elric is watching over Edward Elric, and you have Major Armstrong standing outside the door just listening in. And he basically thanks Pinocchio and Winry for all their help and treating him like family and doing everything for him this entire time. Winry and Pinocchio tell Alphonse Elric to think nothing of it. You're like family to us. This is what we do. You're our type of friends, so this is no big deal. But Alphonse just sort of currently replies to them, no, thank you for everything. I mean it. Even though Edward doesn't say it, he would thank you too, and he appreciates what you guys have done too. And it's a nice little somber scene. And again, the Major Armstrong is, outside the door like tearing, and he got the little star on his face where he's all happy. Basically, it's the next day, and Alphonse, Edward, Elric, and Alex Louis Armstrong are ready to head to Central and get where they need to go. They believe Winry is still sleeping, so they don't want to wake her up, so they're getting going. And then you have Pinocchio say, don't forget to come back and visit us and share a meal with us once in a while. We really miss you guys. And, Edward's like, well, okay, sure, whatever. And then you have a very tired Winry wake up and say, bye, guys. I'll miss you. Come back soon. And, then they head, off to the train to head to Central. There's a little part right at the end, like a little Easter egg ending where Winry comes down and she says, sheesh, these boys make a mess every time they're here. What do we have to do? And then she's putting like pieces of automail away. All of a sudden, she sees this nut that says, I think, A0008. And she looks at it and she's like, oopsie, like an uh-oh in Japanese, like she forgot something. So we'll probably see how that plays in. I know it's a part where Edward needs, because I think in one of the next episodes, his arm starts to lock up, and it's like, oh, you left out a joint. Oh! And it's like, hey. But other than that, that's the episode, and they're heading to Central for the next ones. Let's see. So, good episode, and I like how they put two things together, and, that was cool, but I'll get into that in a moment. Characters of note in this episode, I would have to say almost every character was of note. Like Edward and Alphonse Elric were really good together. Romy Paku, Rie Kurimiya, Vic Mignogna, Maxie Whitehead, all really good in their roles for English and Japanese, showing the care, love, and devotion, and the family dynamic that there is. Same thing with Winry and Pinocchio Rockbell, Megumi Takeyoto, Mayoko Aso, Caitlin Glass and Julie Erickson, showing that love and devotion that they both have for each other too. And I have to definitely say, I give the bigger nod to Julie Erickson because explaining the boys' past and what the war did to their family, was really heartfelt. And Julie Erickson and Mayoko Aso really gave that a deep sense of what goes on. Alex Louis Armstrong too, Kenji Utsumi and Christopher R. Sabat. Really good voices as the Major. I love the Major's eccentricness, his just proud and powerfulness, and just the way he also cares and is a great character and loving person. I mean, this is what I love these episodes and why I love it in the manga as well as in the original anime, because you get to see where he actually bonds with these boys. And it's sad that they didn't have it in there, probably because they combined 2 episodes, 2 chapters of the manga in one, but there's actually a part where Edward and Alphonse are sparring, and the Major actually joins in to fight against them, which is friggin' hilarious. May I join you? How about I play? I'll get to that when we get to the original anime, but they didn't have that in this one. Tim Marcoh, of course, Masayuki Onori, Jerry Russell. Great performance by Jerry Russell and Masayuki Onori. And again, sorry, I keep looking at it because I want to make sure I get the Japanese names right. Really giving that, they regretted what they did, doing that to humanity, making the Philosopher's Stone, not wanting these kids to go down the path that he did. His fear, his resentment all there, really well done, and just really good. So I have to say all these characters on the list are worthy of note, and that's why I mentioned them all here. Final thoughts of the episode. Again, really well done episode, even though they fit two things in. I mean, it seemed to flow well. It seemed to be well. They seemed to fit enough stuff into the episode to where everything fit. Nothing felt left out. I think with these next coming episodes is where it starts to get a little weird, or maybe within the next coming ones, because I know very soon it's going to be like bam, 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 and it's like, holy crap, this train won't slow down now. But it's like, you know, it's like, if you've seen the original, it's like a classic retelling. There are subtle changes, and then, you know, you get to the changes soon, but it's just like a speed high train that just won't stop. And sometimes you just want there to be a breather, and there's no time for the breather. And I mean, like episodes like this, I love for the drama. And it seems like in Brotherhood, they sacrifice some of the drama for action. And I admit I liked a bit of the drama better than the action. But like I said, we'll get to that when the time comes. But episode 6, The Road of Hope, was still a good episode. And I still give it a good rating on my system. Like I said, I won't do like ratings for each episode, but I will say it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. So that would be it. And you know, again, what do you guys think of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood? Have you seen anything up to this episode? Again, have you seen this show at all? Just leave a comment down below and like let me know what you think. All right. But until then, this is 012Boku coming at you with another review of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I will see you guys again. Deuces. And probably one more thing I'm going to add, because if any of you get this, we get this, and with how the times that we're in, and since we want to be very, very positive, let's go, Brandon.